Good evening and welcome to the 10 o'clock news. Imagine a society without hereditary disease. The word eugenics conjures up images of horrible chapters in history, such as the Nazis' famous eugenics program, in which millions were killed or sterilised for not having desirable traits.
However, eugenics wasn't always like this. The term was first coined by Francis Galton, who coincidentally was the half-cousin of Charles Darwin. The intention was always to increase the common denominator of human quality of life. This quickly spiraled out of control, with governments employing coercive methods to encourage desirables to reproduce and discourage undesirables from reproducing.
A new wave of eugenics, sometimes referred to as liberal eugenics, largely attributed to bioethicist Nicolas Agar, started in the early 2000s with the release of his book, Liberal Eugenics in Defense of Human Enhancement.
The main differences are that there isn't one single view of human excellence, but many. Also, genetic understanding has improved a lot, and we since understand that humans share 99.99% of genetic material. This means that discrimination based on race, for example, was completely unfounded. In his book, he poses an argument in favour of human enhancement and even mentions that there are several moral benefits to doing so. Yet this still remains a hugely controversial topic.
But now, popular company Future Tech have introduced the controversial new service, the Homunculus program, which uses stem cells to create what the company has termed the perfect baby for you. Is this human enhancement scheme the necessary next step for societal progression, or is it just a step too far? We spoke to Andrew S. Modius MD, the Senior Director of the program, to find out more. Hi Andrew, give us a brief summary on the concept of the programme.
Essentially, we use stem cells to create the ideal child for every parent that comes to us. Stem cells are these little cells in your body that have the potential to become any other type of cell. And we can use this scientific magic to create embryos that have the best possible characteristics.
Why do you think this is a necessary service?
Well, I feel that that's a very simple question. Human life is fragile, and hundreds of people are born every year with cruel and lifelong debilitating diseases. And of course, part of our mission is to save those who would have them.
Would you mind expanding on what the rest of that mission would be?
We here at the Homunculus program believe that every human being has the right to be truly great. Same-sex couples are able to have biological children using our program too. And at the end of the day, all parents want what's best for their children. And we believe that they should have the right to choose the best child too.
Okay, so what separates the Homunculus program from the Nazis' eugenics program?
Well, because we aren't hurting anyone, of course. To even relate the two ideas is preposterous. No harm is done to anyone involved, from the parents to the children and the donors. No sterilisation, no murder, and minimal human experimentation.
What inspired the mega corporation Future Tech to initiate this program, being that it's so different from all the other services that you offer? Was it the profit?
Future Tech has always been a company focused on building a greater quality of life for all people. The company merely sees this as another way to achieve that goal. Better, smarter people means a better, smarter workforce, not just for Future Tech, but for the entire world. To presume that we would do such a thing for profit is utterly preposterous. To do so would be a vile misuse of human life, and it would be, frankly, unethical.
And so what do you say to those who think your idea is completely unethical?
Well, I'd be tempted to say, would you be happy to have a child as intellectually deficient as you are? But I fear that would make me come off as rude. So rather, I'll say this. Surely you want your child to be great, wonderful, successful, and smart. Every parent wants the best for their child. So why don't you? Why would you trample on the potential of your own children when you could have let them blossom?
So what exactly is the science behind it?
Very interesting question. Do we have the time? I filmed a video for this, so I think you have it back there. You should be able to play it just fine, right?
During this presentation, I'm going to give you an insight into the science behind the service that we provide. So, how does it work? Well, we first reverse engineer cells from any tissue or organs, even skin cells, to create induced pluripotent stem cells. These are then driven to form egg or sperm cells, which are then fused to create a human embryo. This process is repeated multiple times to create numerous embryos, each with different characteristics. Before allowing the parents to choose their perfect baby, we screen each embryo to create a detailed profile containing all characteristics and any diseases that they have. Once the embryo is chosen, the parents get the option to change certain characteristics if they were not completely happy with the embryo. If they weren't happy, we can use a gene editing tool similar to CRISPR, which can identify the gene responsible for the characteristic and either modify it or remove it completely. Once the embryo is suitable for the parents, they are then given the option to implant the embryo into a surrogate or use one of our world-class incubators that grows a healthy baby to term. So that was what we currently offer. What are our future plans? Well, like I said, we currently use a gene editing tool, however we do hope to change that. Our plan is to have a stem cell bank where each stem cell can be nudged into becoming different cells such as hair cells that grow brown hair. This would give our customers the opportunity to see what characteristics were available. Once they selected the characteristics they wanted, we would isolate the gene and then extract it. We would then input this gene into the embryo's DNA, replacing the unwanted gene. This would be revolutionary, giving our customers much more control over what they want.
Now let's take a look at the other side of the argument. We spoke to one of the people protesting today outside of Future Tech HQ.
Think about this, yeah? There's a young girl called Carrie Buck. Her entire bloodline destroyed for being feeble-minded. Feeble-minded. Imagine if that was you. You can't delete an entire bloodline because it's not what you want. Remind you of any German dictators? I thought so. If we start choosing which genetics we want for our babies, where do we draw the line? At what point do we play God? It's not legal. Nowhere in the world is eugenics legal. The state of Virginia literally paid people to be involuntarily sterilised. If that's not accepting guilt, I don't know what is.
So why exactly are you so against the homunculus program?
Simply put, humans do not change. Let me give you some facts, because apparently that's not clear enough to some people. In 1927, the US Supreme Court decided by vote of 8-1 to forcibly sterilise a person because they were unfit to procreate. Imagine if that was you. Imagine you want to have children, somebody else just takes that away from you. And then I think it was 25 years ago, a British MP, he said that a disabled child was an unnecessary drain in society. The world will always have evil in it.
Okay, so hypothetically, would you ever try the homunculus program yourself?
No. Like, how can this program say they have the perfect baby for me? Surely the perfect baby for me is the one that I make myself.
Okay, thank you very much. This has been Saffi and Morton.
This has been a panorama investigation with the news at 10. If you've been affected by anything you've seen today, please contact your local distress helpline. The numbers will appear on the screen now. Thanks for watching.